Hey, this is Divine 219 Lady, and I wanted to just come on here and talk about the anticipation of the rapture. Want to know if anybody feels like there isn't a rapture. I want to know if anybody out there feels like the rapture is just taking too long. Um, do you feel like it's within our generation? Do you feel like we will see um, or be the ones to witness the mystery of the rapture? That's what today's video is about. Wondering how everyone is feeling in terms of the rapture. Not even the second coming, just the pre-tribulation rapture. You know, confession every day since the Feast of Tabernacles last year, Feast of Trumpets last year, around September, mid-September, probably just a little bit before that. You know, I just knew it was going to be a rapture. I just knew it. You know, I just felt it. I was having dreams of being in heaven. I was having dreams of the trumpet sounding and the call to come up here with the Lord. And I just had a strong indication that there was going to be a rapture last year. But then I watched other videos and looked at other commentaries, and people were having a window period of September. Then it transitioned to October, and I'm speaking of last year. Then November. Then I saw some of our strongest strongest people who were speaking in terms of the rapture. I saw that their faith began to fall and fail because they were simply saying that if it goes past 2021, then I'm going to lose all hope, all faith. And then when 2022 came, they were disgusted. And then when February came and March, they had a little bit more hope because now they said the window period for the rapture wasn't until May 14th of 2022, completing the 73 years from when the hope for May 14, 2022, because of Israel of May 14, 1948, being when Israel became its own identity, own sovereign state, own sovereign, entity. And everybody was like, well, we still got up to May 14th, and I'm quite sure the rapture is going to be. And people were so focused on going up. And I'm going to be honest, I was one of the ones who was looking for the rapture last year. But when all hope failed and it did not happen, I stopped putting my whole faith into it's going to be a rapture on this time, during this time frame. Not so much a date, but looking for, even though I knew we were in the season, or we are in the season, I was just looking for some type of significance in Israel and their calendar and their timeline. Because I was thinking like, well, shoot, midnight Israel, Jerusalem chime, maybe 6 a.m. You know, in the Bible it says midnight, but then you have some places where it says morning, and morning could be midnight. It could be night, could be midnight as well. So, I was just like, whoa. I got too much focus on when this rapture is going to take place. It was becoming an idol, like my sole source of looking for it, just for the simple fact that I wanted to be right. I wanted it to be. And so I had to refrain from putting that whole focus on there. No, I still remain watchful. I still know that we're in the season. I'm still looking for the Lord's return, and I'm still watching. I'm looking at the world events. I mean, wow. It's what I can say. Like, wow. I'm going to roll my windows up. I have no time for bugs. And now that I'm talking about the Lord and the rapture and everything and his mama want to come in here and land on my hands and my legs. So I'm over it. Turn on my air so I won't bake in here. So back to what I was saying. The rapture is definitely a concern for a lot of us that are watchers. Watch men, watch women, those of us that look to the skies. Like I was saying, there's some magnificent things happening. And if I was 10 years from now in the future looking back on these days, I'm quite sure to be horrible, more horrific than it is now then to there. But I'm also thinking about looking back here and probably seeing the floods, the extreme heat, the earthquakes, the lawlessness, and I probably can see the progression of that and saying, wow, it was really going on at that time. It was a lot going on then. Biden trying to do the two-state solution with Israel and Palestine, and the Ukraine war that's happening. Europe seems like they're waking up, even though they haven't been asleep long, but it seems like they're waking up. And China is doing some things, Taiwan is doing some things, and in the background we've got all of these, not going to call them foreign countries, but these countries that sit on these plains on the sea that's having a fluctuation of earthquakes that could possibly lead to tsunamis, like the Philippines and is it Chile? Chile? I'm not sure. Places like that, Indonesia, places like that are having extreme amounts of earthquakes. And the whole United States is facing an extreme high quantity of heat. And I'm just like, if it ain't heat, then it's flash flooding, killing a lot of people. And if it's not that, it's fires. And if it's not that, it's earthquakes, so on and so forth. But it's amazing how in parts of the world, and I'm not talking about a small amount, like a big part of the world is having a drought going on. And parts of the United States is facing droughts. But at the same time, it's a magnitude and multitude of places that's having a flash flood. Look at the irony in that. Drought, flash flood. These people can't get water. It's too much water here. It's either dry or it's too wet. And it's like, can't people see that this is God's hand? This is more than just climate change. This is God's hands saying, listen, my children, or the ones who want to be my children, or the ones that aren't my children, listen, this is me. You guys can't tell. You could tell when the weather's going to change. You could tell when it's going to rain. You could tell when it's going to snow. You could tell all of these things, but you can't determine the signs of the end of time. And I'm showing you. This is what I'm showing you, and you guys still don't acknowledge the fact that I'm coming, and I told you that I was coming. So, once May 14th passed, then they were talking about there's a window period by June. Then once June passed, then they had a window period for July. It's like everybody's full focus is on trying to figure out when the rapture is, instead of just living accordingly until the rapture. Living your life. Not saying not to watch. Pay attention to what's going on so that you can stay focused. Pay attention to the surroundings. Pay attention to the world. Pay attention to the miraculous things that's going on in the skies. I mean, they just showed, they want to blame it on satellites. You know, the Elon Musk, I think that's his name, satellites over Israel in Ring of Lights. However, what if it wasn't? You think about a lot of things and you're like, what if it wasn't? But when the great deception comes, and I feel like it's here already, but when the great deception comes, they're going to try to figure out how to explain things. So when you see things weird going on in the heavens, what's their first aim? To try to rectify what it is. Oh, that's just the satellites from the astronaut, Elon Musk satellites going up. Or those loud noises that's happening all over the world that people don't even know where it's coming from. Oh, that's probably CERN. Scientists dealing with the CERN thing. It's an answer for everything scientifically. But they're not paying attention to if that is the miraculous signs the Lord was talking about, part of it. Like, is that some of the miraculous signs the Lord is talking about? Like, why can't you just put two and two together? I want to say it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure it out, but sometimes a rocket scientist is just not enough because they get it wrong too. They don't go beyond what technology can show them. Their mental mindset don't allow them to go beyond what technology can prove. So the spiritual realm goes beyond what technology can prove and extend further past that to an understanding where no one can go if they don't open their mind past what technology can prove. Because the only way you can be proven in the spirit is to be in tune with the Lord. And if you're not in tune with the Lord, then the things that go beyond technology becomes foolish. And that's what the Bible talks about. These things will become foolish to those who don't have the spirit. They don't understand the spirit, things of the spiritual world. So things outside of that, things that are within the spiritual world are foolish to them. And a lot of doctthat a lot of scientists, they deal in science. That's what they deal in. You have some that, know that the Lord's hands probably operate through their hands and their knowledge to save people. Could be a part of the healing process, the gift of healing. If you look at it in that way, the Lord probably gave you the gift of healing. That's probably part of it. But because you want to look at it from a scientific way, you want to say, well, I was educated enough to learn how to do this. And this is where I apply it to. And this is how I save lives. However, what about the first person who ever did a surgery? Whoever learned about medicine? The very first person. Where did they get their knowledge from? They couldn't have gotten it from anyone else, because if they were the first persons to practice surgeries and medical things and prescriptions and stuff like that, where did they get that from? That is the gift of healing. It's a gift. Yes, some things can be learned, and then the ones that learn these things through educational purposes, who aren't tied to the Lord, they only look at things from a scientific way. Everything has to be statistically proven for it to be true. So, in return, the rapture, I wake up every day and I thank the Lord for waking me up. I thank the Lord for, allowing me to get through the day, to serve him in a different way, to show me what I need to do to promote more videos and access to learning about him in my way, in the way that I feel like it will reach most people. And then I go to bed, do it all over again, and I wake up, and my first thoughts genuinely is, I'm still here. Not angrily, but I'm hoping that one day I'll open my eyes and I'll be there, or I'll just, I don't know, I'm not looking forward to seeing Earth every day. I'm sick of it, to be honest. And my phone is, once again, as I try to recover this video take for the third time. I've been lately been interrupted. And I want to blame that on spiritual warfare. Let's see if I can get this clear. Okay. And my phone, out the blue, says it's too hot to continue on. I just don't get it. You know, talking about the rapture and time frame and people becoming weary and all of that stuff, and iPhone want to act crazy. I mean, not iPhone, my Android phone wants to act crazy, the video recording. Sometimes you just want to say, I'm over it. And I think that's what Satan wants. He wants you to say, be done, stop passing the message, quit. But I'm not going to quit. I'm over it. Just not going to do it. Something else I wanted to mention. I wanted to mention not only of the time frame of the rapture or waking up and wondering, dang, are we still here? Or at midnight, like, okay, are we about to be raptured? But you know, for some strange reason, I feel like this rapture is not going to be done in the middle of the night. But then again, because of the whole world's time frame is all over the place, if we do get raptured at night, it's someone's daytime and vice versa. So I was hoping that it'd be done where everyone will be able to see the instant of it, the twinkling of an eye of it, where you're walking with someone and all of a sudden they just vamp. You're sitting across from someone and they just vamp, you know. I don't know, you get ready to hand someone something and they get ready to take it and they're gone, and whatever you were giving them falls to the ground. You know, it's like I want people to see that. But I tried to look up on Google if there's a chance that everywhere in the world faces one inkling of sunlight at the same time. You know, like maybe like 5 minutes all together before it gets dark somewhere. But I couldn't find it. I didn't see it. You know, I found places where it can stay dark maybe 8-9 months out of the year, and I saw places where it barely gets dark. Sunlight never goes down. So, but there is not anything on Google that shows that there's an inkling of time that every state, country, continent, island has sunshine at the same time for a moment. You know, so some people may be asleep when it happens, some people may be awake. So, you know, you wake up in the morning, you know you went to bed with someone, your husband, or you know you put your children to bed, and then you wake up and they're gone and the children are gone, and it's like, what happened? You know, you think burglar, think kidnapping, but then why aren't anything broken? Why the doors unlocked? Why, you know, there's no forced entry? Why am I still here? You know, for those people that'll be left behind. And I can see that catastrophe in the world is going to be chaotic because, you know, yeah, everybody's going to want an explanation, but people are going to feel lost because everybody that they thought they trust is gone. Those that they put their idolatry into, they're gone, because those people putting themselves in the wake of waiting on a rapture and believing in Jesus Christ, those people are going to be gone. Can you imagine everybody who had a trust system just gone? I mean, not saying every single body, but the ones that you know were Bible readers and prayers and believers and stuff like that, they're just gone. Like, they're completely gone, and you have no spiritual solution to the answer because everything's going to be a scientific response. Well, no, what happened was 2 trees fell at the same time and created this Big Bang theory that vamped and eliminated a lot of people who were on the same energy, you know, patterns. You know, just anything that people will be like, oh, okay, I can see, that makes sense. You know, they're going to come up with the most wild solution to the problem so that people will believe it, and they already know what the issues will be. Or a lot of them may not know. Maybe they don't know. Maybe the government and all of them don't know. So they have to bring order, because that's what the military, the Army, Navy, and all those folks do. They bring order to the situation. So they got to make up things to say this is why, so they can bring some order to the situation. And the only way to do that is by lying. Great deception. Yeah, I'm not gonna put out there that I'm tired of going to sleep and waking up, because I'm not tired of going to sleep and waking up. I just want to wake up, if I'm gonna go to sleep, not here. I want to be with the Lord. You know, when the Bible speaks of the Lord sounding like thunder so much that I've grown to have a correlation with when it rains. Sometimes it don't even have to rain. Thunder showers. When it rains, when that thunder come, I like to just sit by that window and lay down and listen to him. Because in my mind, he doesn't speak much, but when he speaks, it's impactful. Sometimes those thunders, I feel like he's loud, especially when it boom, boom, and it shake everything, and you get scared, because a lot of people jump, so you can't say you don't, and them car alarms go off because of the magnitude of the sound that brings force just in the sound. I believe that's him upset. I used to say as a kid, when the lightning happened, that's him taking pictures of the world, just indicating that I'm gonna show you guys a before and after. A before, what the earth used to look like, and now you see what it looks like now. I mean, if you've been following my videos, you know I got some great hypotheticals and analogies of things. So I can't wait. I'm still looking for work. I've been praying about it, but I'm not even eager to go back to work, to be honest. I've been out of work let's just say May 4th. May, June, July. It's going to be 3 months on August the 4th. I'll be done. I've been out for work. And consistently putting in resumes. And consistently getting interviews. And getting positive feedback from my interviews. Not even a response to we'll let you know, or someone to give. We're definitely interested in you, and you'll be hearing from HR. Those type of responses, and I don't hear from HR. You know, and if you watch my past videos, then you'll understand why I feel like I gave 3 different reasons as to why I haven't gotten a job yet. However, anytime I've left a job or transitioned into a job and put an application in, it doesn't take me no longer than 2 minutes to get another. 2 minutes, 2 months before getting another job, and I'd be ready for another one, and I get it. But it's going on 3 months. Question mark there. But I have a great analogy for that. Watch the last video I made. I have a situation going on here at home. I opened the doors to my son, who I thought was a believer in Christ. At least I brought him up that way. But something happened to him in transition from him turning 18 and living on his own for about 7 months before moving here with me. And his conversion is, to say it in a nice way, to blaspheme the Spirit, he has done. The Spirit of God, Jesus, and the Father. And that's disappointing. So I'm doing what I can as far as praying and hoping for a better resolution. I know he is greater. He is greater than the one that's in this world. So the Lord knows what's going on. It's a reason for everything. Maybe it's strengthening for me. Maybe he's just a pawn here, and I often struggle with, I've got 4 sons, and I often struggle with, out of the 4, 2 of them seem to be fine. The youngest 2 seem to have the most trouble. And I'm trying to understand, why were they given to me, So my youngest has gotten to the point where he's so terrible, and I think he's mentally ill, but that's scientifically spoke of. But spiritually speaking of it, I believe he's possessed. And I'm trying to figure out, I'm praying every day. And, but I'm wondering, ask the Lord, what was the reason behind these 2 particular children to be born out of me? You know what I'm saying? Why did they come through me? I feel disappointed in that, So I really don't know. And I'm trying to figure it out. The young man just don't like sunlight. He claims he does, but when I open up those blinds and shades and stuff like that, I can go from one room, open them up, and the next room, open them up, and by the time I go to the restroom and come back out, they're all closed. And I'm like, why did you close it? You're not in the room. Who opens the blinds and just sit there all day because the blinds is open? But, I don't know. That's that. But back to the rapture. I am hoping for his soon return. Sooner than soon. Wondering what you guys think about us being in that generation. And if you think we are in the season, a lot of people feel like we aren't, for the simple fact that they feel like it'll be very more chaotic than what it is now. They feel like you won't have an opportunity to walk to the store in peace because it's going to be that bad. That's how you'll know you'll be in the season. But then you think about when he says they're going to be marrying and giving in marriage and so on and so forth, just like in Lot and Noah's day. If it's going to be that chaotic, I don't think people's going to be getting married if it's that horrific out here and saying, you know what, I know it's bad out here and people are shooting people as soon as they walk out the door, but we're going to still go get married. I don't think that's going to happen. I just don't see it. I don't feel like that's going to happen. I feel like it's going to be regular like this, where people are in their own zone, not giving praise and worship to the Lord and doing what they do, idolatry. Work is idolatry. Going to work is idolatry. Focusing on their cars is idolatry. Focus on anything outside of God is idolatry, especially if you don't give him praise and worship first. And I feel like once everybody gets fixated on something and their minds are just trapped into a trance of just repetitive cycles where they're not even focused on the Lord, is when he gonna say, come up here. You guys come on up here. He's gonna blow that trumpet and we're gonna come up there. And then they're gonna be like, what happened? You think during that time, do you think anyone is going to care about going to work? Eventually they would, but at that moment, do you think people are going to call off of work? It's going to be people calling off of work. I don't know where my family at. My kids missing, or my wife and husband there, but the kids is gone, or maybe the kids is there and the husband and wife is gone. You know what I'm saying? Depending on what their age of accountability is, So you got to often wonder, what is it going to be like? People are not going to go to school. There's not going to be people going to work. People are probably a lot of people going to probably be in hospitals and from a heart attack and things of that nature, for the simple fact that they probably witnessed a vanish, and that just took it out of them. Like, what happened? I know what I've seen, and they just left. Or maybe they get to see us go up. But that'll be a twinkling of the eyes fast. So I don't think our heads would be, their heads would be that fast, So, I think of every possible solution as to how the public will react. I know everybody's going to be drawn straight to their TVs if they do watch regular TV, but for what? When we have devices and phones, just like an Amber Alert. As soon as that stuff happens, I'm quite sure it's going to be an emergency broadcast on our phones sent to even the ones who's blocked emergency broadcast. It's still going to penetrate. It's going to go through and it's going to say vanishing. A lot of people who have disappeared. Stay tuned. And people are going to be so fixated on the phone trying to figure out what happened. When they had people around them in their circle telling them, this is what happened. This is what happened. Let's see. Yeah, so the rapture is imminent. For those who feel like, maybe you needed to hear this video to know that it's still here. I was watching. Now, there's a series that's on YouTube that I'm watching, and it's called 60 Days In, people who volunteer to go to prison. And I just happened to see that the other day, and I was just fixated on it because some folks brought in their Christian background. Some people were chaplains going into it. Some people were born again Christians going into this site. And I was trying to see how they intertwine their faith in a system that doesn't, so to speak, well, let's just say a system that has multiple deities that people worship, many Lord GK's gods. And how are they going to make that effective, or were they going to be caught up in the system, And a few of them, even though their walk on the outside was easier here, and I try to look at life that way when things get chaotic. When the spirit, that's a good one that's a good topic. When the spirit removed, when the true spirit is removed from, the church is removed from the world, there's going to be chaos. So I look at prison that way. When the spirit has been removed out of the system, then you have chaos. Then you're bringing this so-called church back into it, hypothetically, because the 60 Days In is not about the church coming back in. It just happened to be some people who had church background, Christian background, born again Christians, and they're intertwining that into the system, thinking that will help structuralize what's going on in the system. And a few of those people adapted to their environment. I mean, and that's how you can base your faith off of. When the stuff truly hits the fan, and you stand to face crucifixion, you stand to face persecution, ridicule, what will you do? What will you do? Would you do what Jesus do? And a lot of those folks folded in there, and they tapped out because they saw that they fell into the system and they had no regard for God. They thought about him, but because of the system that they were living in that didn't have Christ in them at all, they conformed to a lot of the ways, and it became the system. So they end up tapping out because they felt like they got too far in. And then when they got back out, then they said, I can continue my ministry here. Message. That's a deep message. Because if your ministry consists of the easy work, then is it really a ministry? Yeah, we can sit around and talk to people who's willing to listen. We can go to church every Saturday or Sunday or whatever day you choose to go every day and mix and mingle with like-minded people, everybody who's striving for the same purpose, to get to learn and build a personal relationship with God, with Jesus. And so, our faith is tested not by the people that want to listen. It's tested by the people who don't want to listen, the people who don't care about the Lord. The persuading of trying to get them to understand that the only way for eternal salvation is through Christ Jesus. But we do have people who don't care to even think about eternity. They don't care if they go to heaven or hell. Those people, you can't do anything about. You can just plant the seed and let the Lord work through whatever he's got to do to get through them. But since everything is by choice, freedom to choose. He's not going to force anybody to want to know him. I felt like Noah, Moses, Paul, John, all of them, anybody that were criminals or had a background, a criminal background, a sinful background, that the Lord used to speak his words and to be appointed apostles. I felt like they all had some type of curiosity for them to have opened up and let the Lord, work through them. But when you have those who don't have an inkling of curiosity, who don't have a care in the world about salvation and if they're going to burn eternally, you got a lot of people who based their faith off of the Lord, off if the rapture would have happened or not. Maybe they prayed. They heard everybody else saying the rapture's coming, and because people put dates in it and months behind it and all of that, maybe they were greatly discouraged. Their faith was super weak. And when it didn't happen, they said, you guys suck, There's no God, and you guys promised that he would come and this, that, and the other. However, what did the Lord say? Blessed is he who hears these words or reads these words. Maybe they were the ones who needed to read it for themselves, then hear it. They probably needed to dig deeper. If you had questions, what better way to ask them and get your answer from the man from above? The closer the relationship, the more close he will be to you, the more likely he's going to respond to you in the way that you need him to. But like a lot of people say, and to honestly believe, why would he even give you a clue as to who he is when you don't even have faith? You won't even try to get to know him. So why would he prove himself to you? He's God. I don't have to prove myself to you. What I need to prove myself to you for? You living and breathing. You walking in the body I created. You don't even know how to develop skin. You don't even know how your teeth formed. You don't know where eyebrows came from. You don't even know where your whole self-being came from outside of what scientists tell you. And you want me to prove to you who I am? I don't have to. I've already proven it. Look at the trees. Look at you. Look at the wind. Look at the air, the oxygen you're breathing. Look how your body's made. Just look at your nails when they break, how it grow back. You know what I'm saying? Look at everything. Look how you lose teeth as a child. That grows back and it stops. They don't keep growing. They don't keep growing down until you got to shave them off. They know when to stop. I'm silly, but I'm serious at the same time. The bugs. Who took time to orchestrate those? I don't have to prove anything when I've given you all of this stuff to know that I am who I am. You know what I'm saying? So why do I need to prove this to you? I don't have to listen to you. I don't have to be instructed to prove or show you anything. What did he say? You guys only want miracles. You want to see miracles, and you still don't believe. So if he did show you a miracle, you still not gonna believe. You're gonna probably come up with, I wonder how that happened. And not look at it for what it is. Look at the weather. You still don't look at it for what it is. You still try to figure out it's hot, it's hot, it's hot. They keep going in the ozone layer, bringing all this heat here, and that's what's doing it. Like the Lord didn't make up the firmament in a way that if it is excessively hot there, which I think is super cold, but if it is excessively hot there, you don't think the Lord thought about that and said, I'm going to put something up, a barrier where that don't come here to burn you all until recognition? Or let me just stop. I'm gonna calm down. This phone gonna get hot again. It's gonna cut off, and then I'm not gonna do a retake of this. So if you like my videos, please like and subscribe. Please share these videos. I try to be as real as possible. I try to be as relatable as possible. I'm giving you the insight from my mind, how I feel, through biblical scriptures of what I've read, put into my own words. But if for any reason you need those scriptures for certain things I've said, I do have them. Just ask me for them. And don't be shy. You can put it in the comments, or you can email me through YouTube, and I'll provide those scriptures for you. I do not mind doing that. I am a child of God. I am saved. I have confessed with my mouth, and I know who the Lord Jesus Christ is, and I'm not altering from that. Just know that if you're walking Christ, it's easy. And what I mean by that is, if you're only talking to those who want to hear it, you might need to check your faith. Okay? Check your faith. Because it's easy to talk to the people who want to know. It's all about the people who don't want to know. And he said, love our enemies. We love them, we can conquer it all. Because it's easy to do the other stuff. So 219, Divine 219 Lady, like, subscribe. Once again, like and subscribe. Once again, like and subscribe. And I'll come to you again in another day. Only if God is willing and we are not raptured.